What's the closest transfer that almost happened? Wow, that's a tough one. I want to say I flew to Kiev, spent a lot of time with him. Mark Hughes met with him, and I think he came probably 4 years too late, and I think he'd have been great for Stoke at that time. Hi, I'm Gary Mellor from Beswicks Legal and Beswicks Sports. I'm here today with daily focus business cards. Right, what does a sports agent do? Well, quite varied. We have a sports management group, so we represent clubs, we advise clubs, we also represent the talent. And we've worked in boxing, football, cricket, multiple sports, and but the talent end of the business is my favourite part, although I spend more time at the boardroom, the players' lounge at the moment. What makes your job exciting? Well, I get to go to some special places. Never thought when I was at Priory Junior and Infant School in Handford, Stoke-on-Trent, that I'd be in the Royal Box at Wembley on so many times, and seen 11 of my clients get Burnley promoted to the Premier League the first time, and then seen Stoke in an FA Cup final against Manchester City, despite being robbed. Who do you consider to be your top current or former client? That's a tough one. We took Calvin Smith, Beswicks Sports did, from all the way to win the world title against George Groves in Saudi Arabia. That was a pleasure. Jack Butland playing for England, Jay Rodriguez being the top goal scorer in the Premier League. Also, some of the international cricketers, like Stephen Fleming, who was just an unbelievable leader and has continued to be as a coach in the Indian Premier League. Those are the success stories. I find it difficult to pick one. Proudest achievement, wow, okay. Phil Rawlins, who's from Moncton, went to Moncton High School, reached out to me and said, I'm going to start a football team in America. And I thought, how can you start a football team from scratch? And we did. We started in Austin, Texas, made a lot of mistakes. Anyone that says they don't make mistakes isn't learning. We moved the team to Orlando because we couldn't get a stadium traction in Austin. It's a city I love, and I would love to have stayed there. Phil set me a task of finding somewhere to start a team. And within 4 years of convincing him to go to Orlando, we opened in Major League Soccer to 62,500 people, and there was nothing there when we went there, so that's got to be our proudest achievement. But that took a lot of work. There was myself from Stoke, Phil Rawlins from Stoke, Adrian Heath from Nutton, Kay Rawlins from Moncton, so it was a team effort, and we did that by engaging the community. But I don't know if I'll ever repeat that, but I'm going to have another go. Cultural difference between working in England and the US. I think we downplay ourselves over here, especially in my city, Stoke-on-Trent. I think we've got a lot to shout about. People should be more proud of where they come from. In the US, they are proud of what they do, and they also are happy to see other people succeed. I think our press sometimes are not so happy to see people succeed, and if they do succeed, they try and tear them down. That really irritates me. I want everybody in this city, in this area, in this county to do well. In this country, I want the country to flourish. I want the economy to flourish. Why wouldn't you? What does great leadership look like? Great leadership is hiring the right people and getting out of the way, and also giving some energy and drive and supporting your people. What's the closest transfer that almost happened? I want to say Yarmolenko when he was at his peak. I flew to Kiev, spent a lot of time with him. Mark Hughes met with him, and I think he came probably 4 years too late when he came to West Ham, and I think he'd have been great for Stoke at that time. If you were to do any other job in the world, what would it be and why? I would love to have been in a band. I was in a band, we weren't very good, but I'd like to have another go at it. Biggest misconceptions about your work? The reality is, when you talk about the sports agent side, is that only the big agents' fees, the big paydays of what gets mentioned. It's not the hard yards when you have players that, like Lewis Neal, a player that played for Stoke and Preston in the Championship, out of contract with a family, took him to America, started his career again, and then seen him win the US Open Cup for DC United and score the winning goal was probably one of the most proudest moments of my career, without making any money out of it. What are your thoughts on football super agent Mini Raiola? Well, My view in my business is we're not the talent. The talent is the individual, and the individual should be earning the money, because when they retire, then no one else is going to give them any more money. They've got to make their money whilst they can play. And I think some of the payments made and received by some of the super agents are obscene. And one of the reasons why I got into this business in the first place is to make sure that we will look after the talent and not after yourselves. Oh, that's it. Is that okay?